I've had this hatchet for a lot of years, and it shows. And this was my dad's axe. Original handle, overstrike damage, and still waiting for a proper edge. Both of these tools still have plenty of work left in them. They just need some attention. Durable dads, brothers from other mothers, and sisters from different misters, thanks again for tuning in. The hatchet has actually been functioning. You've seen it before in my videos. Now, this thing originally came with a fiberglass handle, which I secretly hated. Wood just feels better. It's definitely easier to replace, and honestly, it just belongs on a working tool. This is my dad's old axe. You know what? I can't remember a time when this didn't exist in my life. This came on my earliest adventures. My dad's axe is a whole different story than the hatchet. It's high carbon steel. It's an amazing tool, but it hasn't seen proper care in a long time. Life gets busy, tools sit, and before you know it, the years go by. Hey kids, Durable Dads here, bringing you real gear tests, dad-approved tips, and adventures that actually work. If you're one of the 86% watching but not subscribed, hit that button. It's one click for you, and it keeps this party rolling. All right, kids, before we take off and go hit the shop, because this is a job that's going to require that, just a little quick rundown of the goods involved. Okay, you've seen the two species, the old felling axe. As you can see here, I'm going to hold this up, made in Sweden. Okay, a little story about that is that from 1960 to 1980, Swedish forges didn't stamp it. They just said made in Sweden and sent that out for wholesale to North America. So between 1960 and 1980, totally tracks. This is why I don't remember a time without this axe being in my life. Okay, the handle, again, I've just given this a little rough sand just to take the stickers, the markings, and the residue off. I will hit that later. That's in next video. Here's the hatchet, not Swedish steel. So what I've done is this handle, okay, is a 16-inch handle. So instead what came off was a 15. I'm gonna like the 16 probably a whole lot more than the 15. First of all, here's the old handle. You might recognize it from some of my previous videos. I hated this handle. I hated the fact that it was plastic and lasts forever and isn't disposable or biodegradable. And I don't want to go over in great detail, just incredibly evil that handle was to get out. It took quite a bit because what they do is there's no shims. Like in wood, they finish it off with epoxy, and that stuff's a bugger to get out. I've tried to dry fit. It's good to know this handle. So that means there's got to be some burrs in there that I need to take out. I will get to that. That is today's mission, to get these looking good, the rust off, a new edge put on. And I'm not going to mirror buff these or anything because they're tools and they're going to be out in the field here real quick. But let's get these things up and running, this old handle out. All right, that sounds like a pretty great afternoon. Let's get out there. All right, having taken a good look at those two old beasts, it's pretty obvious that some proper tools are needed to restore them to their full glory. The level I want is a little past back deck and sandpaper and rat tail files. Luckily, I've got access to the perfect place. Okay, handle is out. Handle is out of the felling axe. We're going to work on the hatchet. As you can tell, this one's a cast. So this is of a little less quality. So and it's been beaten up a bit. You can see that I've already had at it with the belt sander. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more and just take some of the ugly out of it and then clean up that edge. All right, the belt sander has done its job. I think that's about as good as it's going to get for now. Time to hit it with the orbital sander. Okay, there's one done. That'll cut something when I get this sucker home. And right after it's hafted, we'll hit it with a whetstone. One done. Okay, so this one, it's beautiful forged Swedish steel. Okay, there's no belt sander in this guy's future. Besides, it's in pretty good shape. It just needs some of the rough or the rust taken out. We're going to leave the texture and put one wicked edge on this. Step 2. All right, I love that patina. I love the forge marks. So we're going to leave that, because this is going to be a working axe. We're going to leave it like this and just put a nice edge on. That's next. Maybe a couple holes in the handles with the drill press or the drill. And that's going to be enough for today. All right, kids. Today was a solid start. Now let's get to the next step. Those new handles. And getting these tools back to where they belong. Now, sometimes it really just doesn't pay to buy new gear. Sometimes the payoff is maintaining what matters. And that's not just your tools, it's memories too. Until then, here's me keeping the coffee warm and the gear back to glory. Peace out, Scout.